Okay, so hello everyone. I'm doing a different video this time, and I'm using a handheld recorder. I'm selling all of my gear. Yes, you heard that right, but all is not lost. If you stick with me, you'll understand. I'm selling all of my hardware gear that you see to my right. I'm going to go digital. I have purchased so many plugins, and I've also purchased so many synthesizer plugins that I'm fascinated with them. I've been able to purchase this brand new Arturia 61 key MIDI controller, but also I was able to get some plugins with it that sound fantastic. The keys are excellent. I mean, they are fascinating, semi-weighted. And I also have up for sale my Korg Minilog XD. I do like the Minilog. I just cannot get adjusted to the wimpy, toyish keys that it has. And they're really tiny. Eventually, what I'll do is buy a smaller version to run synthesizer plugins because I really like the keyboard. I've gotten a lot of replies, so I don't think I'll have a problem selling this stuff. And I estimate that I will probably have anywhere between 3,000 to 3,500. Again, if you remember, I was heading out to Arizona courtside to buy a trailer with about $3,000, maybe a little less actually. It was about 2,500, I think. And I had a bad episode. My van broke down, and all the money I had saved went to hotels, renting a U-Haul, and also the repair. The repair was $600. I had to pay for 2 tow trucks. It was a very bad time. They put me in this apartment. If you recall, it's through the housing department. It's not Section 8, but it's very similar to Section 8. It's called Choice Voucher Program. My rental is really, really low. The problem that I found, it's almost like a jail, so it sucks. There's one entrance to this building, and you have to go through this narrow pedestrian walk. Unless it's Monday through Friday, I think 6 a.m. till about 5 p.m. when all the employees are here, and then they close the gate. So the only way to get out is if you have a vehicle, you pull up right up front and the gate opens. Otherwise, when the employees leave, you have to walk. You have to go to the side only, and the only entrance to go in and to go out. And why is that bad? Almost every person that is in this type of program, but the majority, come from complete homelessness. And many of these people are in that thug mentality. I've already been threatened once, physical violence. A guy with a pit bull, he had him without a leash, and I've seen others. The police have been here already more than once. I'm talking about 5, 6, 7 cop cars every time they've been here. It's become very stressful, and they're bringing in sections people. I was one of the first ones. When I came in, maybe 20 people. So then another 20 came in. So just imagine, it's about 150 some units in here, and they've not even filled up anywhere near this floor or the first floor or the third floor. So just think how many people with that same mentality are coming in here. And the way it's designed, this place, it's pretty bad. It's dangerous. And everything you see in here had to be put in, except my guitars, has to go through this thing called a heating treatment. So they made it really fucking hard for me to move in here because I had to bring in my stuff little by little because of my back, without the help of nobody, because you can't, in other words, if it would have been different, like a normal move-in, I could have easily gone to Home Depot, hire a couple of guys, go to my storage, boom, 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 move it in here, boom, 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 pay him, thank you so much, end of story. I had to do, I think it was 3 loads to move in here. I would have had to have spent a lot of money on hiring somebody. So the way things are going, especially with like the Iran war that is not going to get any better. I mean, they're already talking about bombing them again, both United States and Israel. And then you got all of these foreigners, particularly Mexicans and I don't know, all these foreign flags from Latin America. They all hate Trump and they all demand citizenship like now. Give me it to me. Now. That's stupid. I'm not against that, but stupid Biden let in a tremendous amount of people without even knowing who the fuck they are. Right now, they can't even find, I forget how many fucking Iranians. I promised I was not going to say fuck a lot, but now they're saying that they can't even find, I forget how many. And then you got all these other idiots yelling free Palestine. And then they're carrying around the Palestine flag, gay people for Palestine. Don't these people like know that? And then I'm now seeing more rooting for Iran. But don't you know, those of you rooting for Palestine, those of you rooting for against Israel, against the United States, against immigration, don't you fucking know, man? You're doing it the wrong way. You're going to get bitten in the ass when the jihads and the Talibans and all these Muslim terrorists come at your ass. They're not going to be saying, hey, thank you for supporting the jihads. They're going to fucking slash your throat, man. A lot of these people that are Muslims, they are not supporters of homosexuality. Hell no, man. So you that are out there yelling, free Palestine and gays for Palestine and chanting, from the, what is it, from the river to the ocean or from the river to the sea or something like that? Man. So anyhow, this apartment building is making me miserable. I can't play my beautiful equipment anymore. Everything has to go through digital and through headphones. And I love them. They sound freaking great. I said the way things are going in the world and in this apartment building and the type of people that are in here, ain't gonna happen for me to stay here. So I said, how do I go back to the money I had to buy a trailer again? And go back to the original plan. You don't know how wonderful it feels when I get out of this place to go back to where I used to park and the parks and things like that, by the ocean. And oh my God, that freedom, the freedom of not waking up to some ogre, miserable scum thug of the street. I wanted to get out of that type of lifestyle when I was living in downtown San Diego. And guess what? I think it's worse here, because at least in downtown San Diego, it was easier to go a different direction. But here, hell no. Everybody has to go through the same freaking door. And the problem with that is that it's like a little smoking area. And all the smokers, druggies, and and the little hoodies, like, hey, what's up, man? Yeah, what's up? That type of ghetto talk and mentality. I've seen it gathering right there. So you have to walk through that same freaking exit if you want to go in or you want to go out. So I said, hell no, man. I want my freedom. I miss my freedom that I saw when I was living in the van. It wasn't the greatest thing living in the van, don't get me wrong, but damn, it was not as bad as being in here. And I could play my music loud. I said, I give up. I haven't even been here 1 month and I'm already sick of it. So just think, I have to save at least $500 every month to come up with $2,000 to $3,000 for the trailer. You're talking over 6 months, man. So I said, you know what? I started looking at all my gear, everything I have. And I said, you know what? You can always replace them because I have credit with Zounds. That's how I bought the Mesa Boogie. That's how I bought the Synergy. That's how I bought the tubes for the VHT. That's how I bought almost everything you see around me. The keyboard, this guy, and other stuff. And they have VHT power amps and guitar heads and a bunch of other stuff that I really like. So I said, you know what? I said, make a sacrifice and sell your stuff. And if you sell, hopefully all of it, you could have at least $2,500 to $3,000 plus another $1,000 to $1,500 from the money I would save from my income. So you're talking $3,000 minimum. That would be more than what I had in December, and I would be carrying much less, which means that I can get up when I'm sick and tired of this place and not have to get a storage. And yeah, I would go back to the van so that I can save some money and go back plan A, which was to buy a trailer, go live as a snowbird in Baja, and go rent an RV spot by the ocean. When the winter comes, go to Arizona, towards Quartzsite, and a bunch of other places at BLM land where you don't have to pay for rent and you can access services and wake up to peace and tranquility and not wake up to stress. I'm 58 years old. I know I'm dying. I know I'm not getting any healthier or young or attractive. I know that. So I said, why the fuck do I want to stay in an apartment? Because what musician wants to play constantly with headphones? There's nothing like cranking an amp and playing your guitar. Nothing like it. And I could buy it again through Z-Sounds, through credit. I'll buy it again. Hell yeah. I got people calling $550 minimum. $550 for the Synergy. Another $450 for the Mini Log minimum. And then I got the VHT power amp, $1,200. I don't think I'm going to have a problem. I just have to be patient and wait for the right customer that's willing to pay it and hope for the best. Not hope for the best. It will be the best. It is going to be the best. And I doubt that I will ever move into an apartment again. Did you hear that? That's somebody replying. I've already gotten 2 of them. That's a third one. It could be... See, and there it is, more. Anyways, yeah, the Mesa cabinet. The one thing I'm not selling is my drum, my Roland TD20 drum. I'm not going to sell my Krumar floor pedal either. Nope, that's staying with me. Even the guitar cabinet, that big one, I'm also selling that. I'm also selling the TV. When you understand what all these plugins do, these are plugins that are mimicking real hardware music gear where I would never be able to afford them because they cost thousands of dollars. And they have been creating them in digital extremely close to the real ones. I mean, I have plugins that I have choirs, pipe organs, and they sound fantastic. When would I would have been able to afford hiring a children's choir or a pipe organ player? Never. Kettle drums, Middle Eastern percussions, and they're all right now on my computer. And I love it. You got parametric EQs, you got all kinds of toys to sculpt your sound with, and I love them all because they're nice stuff, man. And that's what I'm going to go after. I'll be making some more videos from Universal Audio also. And also, as you know, I changed the name of the YouTube channel to Damien's Doom instead of Headbanger Ministries. Hopefully that'll bring more people. I am going to make videos of what's going on in our world today. That's why I called it Damien's Doom. The doomness that's happening around the world is real, people. And I want to start reporting that. YouTube allows channels to say death to America and death to Israel. But when you say it, they remove it. They block you. So I said, okay, then I'm going to start talking about it on my own channel. The music is not going to go away. Damien, Apocalyptic, Doom Metal, it ain't going to go away. But I'm going to add world issues that are going on our world to keep you informed. Thank you so much for watching, you guys. Bye.